Okay, so I am back live on YouTube. I apologize. I'm get ready to share this again. I had problems, so let me get to the thing where I can share it. All right, so let me mention had a problem with buffering. Here is part two. Okay, so I am live again. Um, I don't know what went wrong with the first one. It just had some problems. So hopefully I can get back into doing this. Let me try and pull up one website at a time. So that way I'm not overloading the system. So I was talking about the Winchester house in part one, and I'm going to get back to that as soon as I find the story here. And I want to talk about that some more. And let's see, let's get back to the live stream. Okay, thanks, Nicole. Um, Again, I apologize. Um, I apologize for the buffering. I don't know what it was. I don't know if I said something or if my internet connection sucks, but unfortunately, I can't plug it into my. Um, if it buffers again, I will stop the stream and I will go ahead and do it on Facebook Live from now on. Um, but because YouTube is starting to really piss me off. Uh, no, I don't think it's gremlins, ghostly gremlins. I think just my internet connection, along with having a ton of stuff open, hurt it. But let's get into back into the Winchester Mystery House that I was talking about in part one. If you're just tuning in, um, the first live stream I was doing buffered, and I had to start a new stream. If it buffers again, I'm gonna stop using YouTube to do live streams, and I'll stick strictly to Facebook because I know that works and it doesn't cut me out. Um, YouTube is got a thing for doing shit like this, but let's get back into the Winchester Mystery House. Now, as I was saying before in part one, the Winchester Mystery House has a lot of small spaces, so it makes it difficult for social distancing, which I don't agree with. It destroys people's immune system, and that's from different medical doctors and everything like that. So, yeah, yeah, I'm getting notifications and stuff like that. And all right, so as I was saying, for a supposedly haunted house, the Winchester Mystery House is normally alive with decidedly corporal activity. Every few minutes, another tour departs. Floorboards creak under the weight of eager feet. The garden is filled with cheerful guests drinking wine from the outdoor bar. But these days, the house is quiet as it's been since the days of Sarah Winchester. Bizarre is putting it mildly, is stated in the title of this story, said General Manager Walter Magason. It's been like nothing we've ever seen in the 97-year history. So, I mean, there's a video on this. I don't know. I think it's on here, possibly. But the Winchester House invites a lot of people every year to its doorstep. Now, there are people that say that it's not really haunted. Some people say it is haunted, but yeah, it's definitely an interesting place to visit. With doorways that lead to nothing, to places that stairways that go to the ceiling, to doors that lead out to a big old drop. So there is a lot of interesting stuff there. And yeah, if you're not with a tour guide, you could get lost, as Nicole said here in the chat. Because I believe after the 1906 earthquake in San Francisco, Sarah Winchester was building the house up rather than out like it is now. And you can, if you can find the video, it explains that. She started building up, but when the earthquake, 1906 San Francisco earthquake hit, it tore part of that down. So she decided to tear all that out and start expanding, no longer up, but out. And that's where you got the big, mysterious house with no end, out like that. But yeah, like I said, it's definitely a place that I would love to visit. But as far as the haunted history of the house, I can't say whether it is or not. Now, it's supposedly haunted by all those that have died because of being shot by a Winchester rifle. I find some holes in that story, or thoughts on that, but that's just me. And she was told by the spirits to build this house the way she did. But again, I have some questions on that too, and that's a story for another day. But hopefully I'm still here. I'm not losing people or anything like that. Again, I want to apologize for the first part of buffering. I don't think I'm going to do any more YouTube live because it's got too many problems. Sorry, I just saw something on my phone, a notification. Not about the show, don't worry. But yeah, like I said, I have some questions about the house and what the reason behind the hauntings or supposed hauntings and everything like that. Now, here's an interesting story. I want to read the story, and this one, there's also a separate link in the description below, or not on this video, in part one. I'll add all the description in part two after I'm done. But in part one, you'll find all the links for everything that I'm talking about tonight on the show. I don't know if I'm going to get to all of them or not, because we're already an hour into the show and we still got one more hour to go. Nicole, if you can share, Nicole and Bill, can you share the link for this live chat around to let people know that I had problems with buffering and I'm back live? And I appreciate that. But let's get back into the another story that I wanted to talk about because I found it interesting. It's not really so much in cryptozoology as it is a creative marketing technique used by a realtor in Northern California. And if you know anything about Northern California, you know that Northern California, the Pacific Northwest, it's supposedly a hot spot for Bigfoot sightings. So we're going to talk about in a way, it was a Bigfoot sighting, but it's not the actual Bigfoot. So we're going to talk about that. So the story is, and this is from unexplained-mysteries.com. And it gives a link to the realtor, or not the realtor site, but where she's got listed on Zillow. But the headline says, Bigfoot bakes cookies in bizarre house listing. And if you look at the photos, there are some cool, clever marketing techniques done in that. Like I said, in the first live stream, you can find a link to this story as well as the listing on Zillow. But let's get into what the story says. One realtor in California has come up with a unique way of generating interest in a house that's up for sale. Typically, when Bigfoot shows up in a photograph, the elusive cryptid will be way off in the distance, hidden behind foliage, or so indistinct that it's impossible to tell what you are even looking at. In the case of this novel set of marketing shots for a lavish home in Felton, California, however, the legendary biped is a lot more visible. And you can see that in the pictures and the listing. This is it's funny and interesting. It's a clever marketing thing. About a great deal more tongue-in-cheek. A recent Zillow listing for a 5-bedroom home featuring a number of professional shots of the building's exterior and interior rooms, which wouldn't be anything unusual if it wasn't for the elusive inclusion of several shots showing Bigfoot carrying out a number of everyday tasks, ranging from baking cookies and using a computer to reading a newspaper and doing yoga. Like I said, an interesting marketing ploy. In one shot, the intrepid cryptid can even be seen getting into a car while wearing a face mask. Whoever came up with the idea to create these images may be unconventional, but there is no denying that the stunt has managed to attract quite a lot of attention to the listing. Those looking to purchase a house, however, will need deep pockets as the current price is $999,000. Of course, before moving to Texas, I was born and raised in California, so I know how expensive it is to live out there. Sorry, I had to get some water. My throat's getting a little dry. Those looking to, okay, so the Bigfoot costume will presumably not be included. So unfortunately, you don't get the costume. Uh, but you should for that price. Um, but yeah, somebody came up with a clever way to sell a house in Northern California where Bigfoot sightings are frequent. You can check out the photographs for yourself. And of course, like I said, I'm going to click on the link. Um, yeah, it looks like one in Bigfoot costume. He's standing out on the deck looking up, playing a ukulele. Um, let's see. This one, he's reading a book, Edible Mushrooms. This one, he's doing yoga. And this one, he's laying on bed. And looks like the book title is Humans of New York. Now, that's just some of the photos and everything like that on the listing. Now, I was looking at this house, and there are some beautiful pictures of this home. I mean, it's situated in the redwood forest, so it's definitely in Bigfoot country. Man, it's a interesting house. I mean, it don't look like it's worth 999,000, basically $1,000,000. But then again, like I said, California is expensive. A while back, I want to say 2 years ago, there was a listing for a shed in San Diego for $1,600 a month. A shed. So it's outrageous prices in California. But yeah, there's a picture of Bigfoot reading a newspaper on the deck. He's baking cookies, sitting at a laptop. Let's see, what's this one look like? Looks like he's out on another deck, just looking out at the trees out around. Looks like he's not only doing yoga, but he's also working out. Yeah, check out the link in the first part one of the show. You can find all the links about this. I mean, Bigfoot gardening, drinking water out of a fountain, working on something in the garage, I guess. There's the one in the mask, and it looks like they even took one of him walking in the forest. And I after the show, I'm gonna probably take those pictures and I'm gonna post them along with the link to this on the Talk in the Night website and let you look at the photo. But like I said, you can find the link and check them out for yourself if you want. But yeah, it's definitely interesting. All right, so let's get through with that story. Now there was another story here, and I gotta find it, and we're gonna get into ufology. Okay, so right now everybody's busy talking about this C virus and everything like that, and the mask and the fancies. Again, for anybody new just tuning in, I can't say those words because I can get my video taken down, my YouTube channel taken down. I don't want to have that. Nicole says, I don't want to have Bigfoot nightmares. Um, but everybody's talking about politics and stuff like that and all this. But this one is about a former senator talking about UFOs and alien life. Harry Reid opens up on UFOs and alien life. The former senator majority leader has long been involved in the search for the truth regarding UFOs. And I believe our government covers up a lot of that. I mean, look at how we panicked when this C virus came online. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute here because I want to get into some politics and the whole C virus thing. And I know some people are not going to agree with me, but I want people to open up their minds, question everything. But let's continue talking about this. Reid, who was involved in the creation of the U.S. government's secretive UFO program, AATIP, which stands for Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, recent and he created this program. So what are they not telling us? But recently sat down for an interview with Motherboard in which he discussed not only UFOs, but also the possibility of alien life. Suffice to say, he is a keen proponent of the idea that we are not alone in the universe. Now, I don't agree with politicians, whether you're Republican or Democrat, they're both evil, including Trump. If you think not, then you got to do some more soul searching. But I'm not here to change anybody's mind. Politicians are parasites. But this one thing I do agree, this one statement, we are not alone in this universe. I mean, it's hard to think that as big as the universe is, that we are the only creatures out there or life forms out there. I mean, it's quite possible, but with people having sightings of UFOs or been contacted by extraterrestrial life, which I've talked to some guests on in the past, and you can find them right here on the Talking the Night YouTube channel. I'm pretty sure that show's still there. But I talked to somebody that had an encounter with the extraterrestrial life. I've talked to Chad Meek, who is the nephew of the late George Van Tassel, who has seen UFOs and had experiences with his uncle, George Van Tassel, out at Giant Rock. So for us to be alone in the universe is hard to believe. Continuing on, it says, I look at it this way. The world as we know it today is extremely large. It's so big that I can't comprehend it. And I think that we as human beings have to be a little more short sighted if we think we are the only species in the entire universe. Again, something that I agree with. Like I said, I don't agree with politicians, but I mean, you you got to. I mean, everybody's got their beliefs. I'm not here to change anybody's beliefs. That's not what I'm doing. Um, Regarding UFOs in general, Reed has often emphasized the need for further research and investigation. When the Pentagon recently declassified 3 videos of U.S. Navy pilots pursuing unidentified objects, he noted on Twitter that the footage only scratches the surface. Uh, so, yeah, I mean, what has our government been hiding for all these years? I mean, with the whole raid of Area 51 last year, um, which personally, I don't think any of that stuff is there anymore. It's at another secret base. Um, Getting a drink of water. I don't think, but see, Area 51 has gained so much notoriety for UFO sightings. Now, yes, they test a lot of secret aircraft there. I mean, the Blackbird, before it was declassified, SR 71 was tested out there. The B 2 bomber, the stealth bomber, was tested out there before being declassified, as far as it being known about, um, and stuff like that. But it was all tested out at Area 51. Now, I, I don't think the alien lies or actual spaceships are out there at Area 51. I don't think that. Again, I think they're possibly at another base, which some people might know as Area 52 or Area 53. They could be at Patterson Air Force Base, where a lot of the Roswell crash went to. Um, they could be at other top secret military bases, but everybody knows of Area 51. It wasn't until a few years ago that even Area 51 was declassified, or they are not so much declassified, but known to the public, as far as them saying, yes, this is a real base. Because before that, they always tried to hide that it's not a real base. But everybody can look at satellite images of Area 51. You can't zoom down to ground level, but you can see an aerial view of the base. Like I said, the base was used for testing things like the B 2 stealth bomber, the SR 71, before they were declassified. But as far as alien technology and underground stuff there, regarding UFOs, I doubt that it's there anymore. But like I said, make up your own mind on that. Continuing on the story, it says, I think we need to fully understand this and have no boundaries on what we look for, he said. And I repeat now for the second or third time that people should not be afraid. And he says that people should not be afraid of extraterrestrial life or anything like that or UFOs. But again, going back to this whole C virus, look at how people panicked. And like I said, I'm going to get into the C virus here in a moment. Bill, yes, sir. I mentioned it. You probably weren't paying attention. There is places like Area 52, Area 53. I don't know exactly where those bases are. We haven't been told. Look at how long it took us to hear about Area 51 as far as it being mentioned as an actual base. Before that, it was like they were denying it as a base, even though people knew it was there. So Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, where, like I said, the Roswell crash material supposedly went to. Could it be there? Could the technology already be used up? Could we be working with extraterrestrial life? We don't know that, but if our government was to actually tell us about extraterrestrial that they've been here, they visit us, they show us proof. Look at how people reacted with the C virus, running out and hoarding toilet paper, Lysol, all this stuff, everything that's gone on since this whole C virus started. People, and I wish I could remember the quote, and from Men in Black. Let me see if I can pull it up. Sorry for the silence here for a second. But it's hard for me to type and also okay, here it is. So humans for the most part don't have a clue. From the MIB movie, Agent J and Agent K, Tommy Lee Jones, Will Smith, Tommy Lee Jones talking to Will Smith, saying people don't have a clue. They don't want one. They want to go on basically with their lives. Don't want one or need one either. They're happy. I think they have a good beat. And of course, it goes on to, if you've watched the movie, you know the quote, but saying that they think they have a good beat on thing. A big secret. People are smart. And of course, Will Smith utters the line, "Why the big secret? People are smart. People can handle it." And again, and here's what Tommy Lee Jones says to that, and I agree with this. Smart people are humans are smart. People are dumb, panicky. I'm trying to remember the whole quote. Dumb, panicky, dangerous. People are dumb. The human is smart. People are dumb, panicky, and dangerous animals, and you know it. And like I said, look at what happened with the whole C virus when that hit, and they started mentioning the death numbers and everything like that. Like I said, I'm going to get into that the last half of the show. I'm not going to be able to cover everything because of the buffering earlier, but I want to cover the whole C virus thing Um, but getting back to the Harry Reid story, um, it says, I repeat now, for the second and third time, people should not be afraid. Well, people are going to be afraid. It says, I think that too many of my legislative friends are afraid to go into this because someone will think that they are some kind of nutcase. But I went into it and I don't think it hurt me politically. Now, like I said, people, the human is smart. People are dumb, panicky, and dangerous animals when we're told something is scary. We want to curl up in a ball. We want to run away. We don't want to talk about it. I mean, look at all the movies that covered alien attacks, starting with War of the Worlds. If you've ever heard the radio show War of the Worlds, look at the panic that radio show caused at the time. And that was just radio. Imagine it being filmed. People are going to panic. People are going to run out buying a shitload of toilet paper again. um, People are not going to. Don't I don't think it's going to be like, I mean, there might be some people that be like in Independence Day movie where they're all standing up at the building looking up at the spaceship before it fires its weapon. I don't think that's going to happen, but there are going to be people that are going to be interested. And there's going to be people, and mostly, probably the majority of people are going to panic and want to shut themselves off in fear for alien. And I'm not saying anything like this is going to happen. I'm just stating that if we had extraterrestrial life come down to our planet, people would panic. People would not know what to do. And I'm saying the majority of people. Like I said, there's going to be a few that are going to be out there like, ooh, look at the bright lights. But as far as all the stories that we've been told over the years of abductions, probing, all this kind of stuff, a lot of people have that ingrained in their minds. And if you've ever heard the War of the Worlds radio show, if you haven't heard it, take a listen to it. But again, that show, back for its time, caused a panic. I mean, look up the Battle of Los Angeles. A panic of UFO Foo Fighters. I mean, people panic. They're panicky, dumb, dangerous animals. And people know this. So not everybody's going to panic, but the majority of people will. And to quote George Carlin, never underestimate stupid people in large numbers. I mean, look at the whole C virus thing. Again, my opinion. Let me finish up the story, and then I'm going to get into the C virus the last half hour of this show. Even some of my staff told me to stay away from this, but I never looked back. It was something I was interested in. I thought it was something that our government should be involved in. As things stand, it's unclear what the future might hold, but it is likely that Reed will continue to champion the cause by encouraging further government research and disclosure. There is, after all, a great deal, of information out there that is yet to be released to the public. And there is a lot out there that is being that's not being told to us about the UFOs. We're just only getting little bits and pieces of it. But this has been going on for a long time. Like I said, look, Roswell happened in 1947. Look at how long that's been. And look at how long that's still been covered up. Look at how long Area 51 was covered up before they mentioned it was a base, because people were able to see satellite view of the base. Sorry, I had to get some water. So look at, until we dig deeper into this and look deeper into it and get the information on it, where we have proof that they cannot deny, they're not going to disclose this stuff. I mean, a lot of our space related stuff, I think, came from UFO technology. Again, I could be wrong, but I believe it came. Going back to ancient times. If you're a believer in the whole Atlantis thing, people believe that those people had UFO technology taught, or they helped them before that whole civilization disappeared. The Greeks, the Egyptians, different cultures, the Mayans, the Celtics, a lot of cultures explain extraterrestrials and UFOs in their hieroglyphs and writings and everything else. And to say we're alone in the universe, I would love to talk to somebody that would say we are alone in the universe. And I would love to ask them, okay, so if we're alone in the universe, explain to me why. Or explain to me how that is possible. Again, I'm not here to change anybody's belief system, but this is why I want to get Talking the Night back on the air, so I can welcome guests to the show to give their own perspective and to where I can ask them questions. But to do that, I need your help. I need your help to bring back the show. That's why I got this fundraiser going. The link for where you can donate money is in the description of the first video. Everything in the first video I'm going to add to the second video, so you can find it here too as well. Again, like I said, I'm not covering everything, but I want to cover the whole C virus for the last half hour, for everything that's going on with it and everything like that. I want to talk about that. And feel free to join in the chat. Give me your thoughts on it. Because, everybody's got their own belief system. Because I'm afraid to talk about it. I'm going to end the stream here, and I apologize. I'm going to, on the Talk in the Night Facebook page, I'm going to as soon as I stop the video, I'm going to take a quick break, and then I'm going to do a short video, recorded video. I'm not doing live, just a short recorded video to to explain what's going on. Well, now it looks like everything is back in order. It looks like it's working again. That's weird. Okay, so let's try this again. I don't know why it was buffering. This is why I need the equipment so I can do radio, because for streaming, it's video, it sucks. My connection sucks. But if I'm doing radio, yes, I can get back on the air. I can talk and everything like that. And it's not going to cause as much problem as streaming live on the computer. Now, if I had of course, my router is in my bedroom and my computer's out here in my office, which is the dining room. I don't use the dining room. It's my office. But and I gotta add some more pictures. Of course, you see this one picture here, but I gotta add some more stuff here. Probably something paranormal related here. I love the Old West stuff, but I need something paranormal related here. But again, I want to do radio because it doesn't have as much problems broadcasting on radio as it does with streaming video. Streaming video uses up a lot more connection and everything like that. So we'll keep going. We got 25 minutes. But yeah, I want to get back into doing radio. I don't do too well in front of the camera, especially when I'm doing 2 hours of talking just myself. I love to be interviewing guests, but of course, because of my streaming connection is not that great, and this is a brand new computer, I haven't gotten everything figured out for it. It's a little more difficult. So let's talk a little bit about the C virus. Of course, the number, and you can check this out for yourself. I'm not asking you to believe anything that I'm saying. I'm asking you to question everything. I'm asking you to research it yourself. Think for yourself. Don't believe what you're constantly hearing on the Communist News Network, faux news, MSLSD, any of the big cable networks. Do your own research on it. And if you don't know what I mean by the Communist News Network or faux news, the big media corporations, I'm sure you probably can figure it out. But they've been pushing these death numbers, and that's kind of gone away on the wayside now. It's something unholy, I should say, but it's something new now. But when this started out, what got everybody in fear and to lead into going out and hoarding toilet paper and Lysol and stuff was these death numbers. But by their own admission, the CDC and the World Health Organization, Dr. Fauci, Deborah Birx, they've all admitted this, that the virus is only 0.1 to 0.3%, which puts it right in line with the seasonal flu. As far as the numbers go, they're inflating the numbers to put you in fear. They're adding I mean, it's stated on their website, the CDC's website, which I don't have a link for. I might add that um, to this video. But on their website, it states that if you're assumed to have had COVID when you died, they're telling doctors to mark it as a COVID death. I mean, say I ended up in a car wreck, I got hit by a passing car or something like that, or I died of a heart attack or something strange happened. Knowing talking about this stuff, getting into conspiracy theories, I could be taken out. Again, a conspiracy theory. I don't know if that happens. It possibly does. But regardless of the point, if you delve too much into this information, they want to silence you. But it's by their own admission on their website that they're adding death numbers. Like I said, if I was to have a heart attack and say I got tested positive for COVID-19, they would mark my death a COVID. Oh, I said the word I didn't want to say it. A C virus. I apologize. C virus death. Or another term that other people use, the cerveza bug. It would be marked down as a C virus death. And again, it's by their own admission. But people are so blind, they don't want to research. They don't want to check it out for themselves. The masks don't help. They actually hinder you. And this is by several doctors that talk about the mask. If you're listening to doctors on the Communist News Network, Faux News, MSLSD, any of those big news networks, and you hear a doctor on there talking, it's there to help you. They're not telling you everything. They're getting paid. They're getting paid for every death. They're getting paid for every ventilator that people are on. They're getting paid for every case. Again, it's by their own admission on their own website. If you can dig into this information, and you can find this. Somebody told me about using DuckDuckGo as a search engine, but even on Google, you can find this information if you look at the right stuff. But hospitals get $13,000 for every patient that is diagnosed with the C virus. $35,000 if they're put on a ventilator. $40,000 if they are marked death with the C virus. So who benefits? Follow the money. But now the big thing is contact tracing. They want to trace us. They do it with our phones. They know where we're at all times with our phones, the GPS in our phones. And unless you're off the grid with no phone, no internet, out in the country, which I hope to retire like that, just to enjoy nature, have my own farming stuff, vegetables and chickens and everything like that, to where I can sustain myself out on the land. But this contact tracing is another form of tracing. Now, they're hiring people to go out and test you or find out if you've been in contact with somebody else. Now, if somebody like that comes to my door, I'm telling them to kick rocks because that's none of their information. It goes against the Fourth Amendment to be secure in my houses, papers, paper. Let's see, person, houses, papers, and effects. Sorry, I had to remember the whole Fourth Amendment. To be secure in my persons, houses, papers, and effects. It means I don't have to disclose this stuff. Like when I was talking about the mask, I can't wear a mask because of my emphysema, my breathing problem. I don't have to mention that to anybody. I can show them a piece of paper that says I can't wear it, but I shouldn't have to show them my papers. This is not Nazi Germany. Show me your papers. Okay, so not German accent. I can't do it. I just can't. But this is not Nazi Germany. We do not need to show our papers. We don't need to tell people, as long as we're not harming, threatening to harm, or anybody, or damage any people's property. We should be free to express ourselves, to talk. But in this day and age, people are so afraid, they're so blindly following media and government on what they say. I mean, look at the whole Joe Biden thing that hit the fan today. The guy is, see, now, I'm like I said, I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Democrat. They're both evil political parasites. But they're also going to give you little insights, bits of truth to keep you going on with the whole lie. Again, I'm making no assertions, YouTube, or anybody watching this. I'm not saying that this virus is fake, but can you, if you think that it is as real and as bad as it is, can you confirm? Because I haven't found this information. I don't know if you can, but can you find anything that says they've actually visualized this virus? And talking about fancies, again, I can't say that word on YouTube because my channel, my video will get taken down. I don't want that. I want to build it up to where I can get it monetized and everything. But eventually, but like I said, who's benefiting? And if you think it's just Bill Gates, no, it's the pharmaceutical companies. They're giving kickbacks to the politicians, including Trump. Any political parasite, governors, mayors, they're all getting kickbacks from some special interest. We've lost our country, started back in at least 1913 when the Federal Reserve Act came online. You can find out a lot of information. Like I said, you don't have to believe me. You don't have to believe somebody else's word. I share a lot of stuff from High Impact Flicks or High Impact Vlogs. Brian over at, High Impact Vlogs. But everything he talks about, I look into. And when the words are coming out of their own mouths, and you still want to believe the lie, even though they said it out of their own mouth. I mean, it just makes me want to smack my head and go, why? Why all the stupid people? But as George Carlin said, never underestimate stupid people in large numbers. If you haven't watched the George Carlin Germs YouTube video, watch that and think about what's going on here in this day and age. I mean, uh, the whole C virus, this thing was planned. I mean, look at Event 201. Look up Lockstep by the Rockefeller Foundation, which is which also funds the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Follow the money. Look at who's benefiting from this. I don't want to go too long because we got 10 minutes left. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in. If you want to donate to the show, like I said, there's a link in the first video. I'll put the link in this video too. To donate to the show, help me get the show back on the air. I was going to talk to a radio station about doing my show on their platform, but they want to charge outrageous prices. I'm not doing that. So I'm going to do it on my own, but I'm going to get this going. I'm not leaving yet, Nicole. I still got 10 minutes. But tell people about the show. Let's get this started. Like I said, in the first video, I got a link for the Talking the Night Facebook page, Twitter, Discord, YouTube, the website. I mean, you can join those things and help me grow Talking the Night, because I want to get it up to where Coast to Coast AM is at. And I want to get it to that status because I love talking about this, but I also love bringing on guests, which, like I said, if you go to my YouTube channel right here on YouTube, you can hear past shows where I've interviewed many guests about different topics. My show deals in a lot of the paranormal, but I've also talked to people in health, technology, dating and relationships, government conspiracy stuff, political stuff. There's a few people that I want to get on, like Brian from High Impact Vlogs. I want to get him on. I want to get on some bigger name guests like Dan Aykroyd, William Shatner, quite a few other big names, Glennis McCants, the Numbers Lady, some other people that have been on Coast to Coast AM. But I cannot do that if I can't get back on the airwaves. That's why I need your help. So if you listen to some of my past shows, that's the best way to describe how the show will go in the future. Now, of course, I started out doing the show as a hobby. It was more just to pass some time. But as it grew, I gained guests and I increased the show hours and everything like that. And it became from a hobby into something that I want to do for a career. Now, I'm spending 2 hours talking with you here on YouTube without a guest. I would love to have a guest, but I cannot do it on YouTube Live because the whole streaming thing, I just don't have enough bandwidth, and I don't have an Ethernet cable long enough to go from my office to my bedroom where the router is to have a secure connection. So on Wi-Fi, it does not work that great. And I can't stream on my phone on YouTube because I don't have 1,000 subscribers. But again, check out some of the past shows that I've done. Check out the Talking the Night website. Just because before we end, I want to go over some of the guests that have been on my show so you can actually hear some of the people that I'll eventually get back on the show. Some I might not. But these are the guests that have been on the show. Jennifer Noel Taylor's, Lori Champion, who is on my friends list on Facebook, Alan Thompson, Laura Scarborough, Tony Nuris, who is a political person for the Veterans Party in Minnesota, Alicia West, Farouk Khan, Marcus Weber. Those were guests that, Eva Fulton, those were guests that I've had on my show for veterans during Veterans Week and everything like that. I'm just looking back here on the YouTube channel here real quick, making sure I'm still broadcasting. Eric Pride, Dr. Joyce Pugh, Chris Lee, Nicole and Bill Betts and Nicole Gaspar, who are here in the chat. I've had them on my show. Crystal Reed, Marjorie Phelps, Joy Elaine, Ed Roman, David Ullman, Mike Cavalli, Chad Meek, Peter Spinagati, Kelly Cooper, Stephanie Osborne, Kevin Dunlap, Cheryl M, Miss M, Derek Hart, Derek Grosskert, Gordon Carla Smith, Sylvia Schultz, Melissa Keto, Bill Patty, Beverly Cyril, Paul Cram, Don Allison, Kevin Cisco, and those are just the guests that I've had on the show. I want to bring a ton more guests onto the show. I want to bring you brand new content. I want to bring you new guests. I want to bring all that, but I need your help. I need your help to get the equipment that I need to get things going while I'm working on going to college to get my associate's degree in radio, television, and film. But I need your help. If you want to hear a show like Coast to Coast AM where I have guests and where you can call in to the guest and ask the guest questions, I want to bring that to you. Because, I'm going to do it the first hour, talking with the guest. Second, this is how I always envisioned it. It never quite worked out that way. But like I said, I'm trying to do this as professional as best as I can. This kind of stuff, these headphones, doing it like this is not professional. But I need your help to get the equipment so I can do it professionally, to where I can make get advertisers, to hire freelancers to help with webmastering, production, social media promotion. Because when I was doing the show before, I was doing all the jobs that a radio station has several people do. I was doing the production, I was doing the webmastering, I was doing promotions, marketing, I was producing the commercial breaks, I was hosting, I was doing it all. I need help with that, because try doing that all by yourself. 5 days a week while trying to host the show, while researching, while booking. It's not an easy thing to do. And I was doing it by myself. But again, I want to bring the show back to what it was, get people listening in, and let's get some great guests on the show. Let's build those numbers, but I need your help to get the stuff. If I do it alone, it might take a while. But if you want to hear Talking the Night, you want to hear some of the guests that I mentioned or brand new guests, help me get there. I need your help. So I want to thank you all for tuning in, whether you're watching live or watching recorded. I want to thank you all for tuning in. And until next time, I shall see you on the dark side. Good night from Talking the Night.